belly in. Feel that navel drawing towards the spine. Draw that left shoulder back a bit to increase the twist, almost like the right shoulder is going to come underneath the left shoulder. Breathing. All right, rise right back up. Keep that knee over the ankle. Here's our warrior one. Deep breath. One more. All right, bring feet together. Use the chair if you need to. And then I'm going to lift up on that right leg and extend it out. A little leg work here. This leg is really low, okay? And that's okay. What I want you to do is sink into that supporting leg just a little bit and let it rise back up. We're not going to lock that leg when we come back up. We're just going to take a little bend in it and right back up. Standing nice and tall if you can. You've got your old buddy, old pal chair handy right here. And one more. All right. Curl that heel in. Step all the way back. Step all the way back. Deep breath in. Forward fold. Using the chair if you need to. We're going to halfway rise. The idea here is to get that back very flat. All right. Pull the shoulder blades together. Keeping the chin tucked. Once you see what I'm doing, tuck your chin in right here. Holding on. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Bend the knees. Deep, deep, deep. And we're going to reverse swan dive all the way back up. Deep breath in. And down. Let's do it one more time. Deep breath. Forward fold. Tuck the chin. Look back towards the knees for a moment. And then halfway rise. Here's where we get that back flat. Hands wherever you're comfortable. Exhale. Bend the knee. Reverse swan dive all the way back up. Right? Other side. Step in on the right foot and back on the left, coming into our warrior one. Okay, so back leg is straight, front knee is over the ankle, and I've got hold of the chair with my right hand. Deep breath in, exhale, swoop down. Reach for the hand or the chair, whatever feels good, excuse me. Deep breath, and down. Rise up. And down. Rise up. And down. Two more. And this last one, we're going to hold this. So settle on in. Pull that right shoulder back a little bit more. Drop the left shoulder a little bit more. You'll feel that twist deepen a little bit. So pull that navel in. Ground through the feet. Let the inner thighs draw together a wee bit more. And long line from the crown of the head to the heel. You can be up. You can come down, whatever feels good here. Breathing deep. Rise back up. All right, we're going to push forward, both feet together for a moment. And then up comes that left leg, and it's going to extend right out in front. And low to the ground is fine, so that when you bend the knee, if you want that heel to touch the ground, that's okay. So here we go. A little micro bend in that supporting leg and come right back up. Now, should have tried it on the other side. But if you'd like to try, no hands, Olivia, do so. And again, sinking down, rise back up. Two more. And last one. All right, curl it back. We're going to push back. Take a deep breath in. Bend the knees, bend the elbows, tuck the chin, look back towards the knees, and then inhale, halfway rise. Get that back really flat. Maybe play a little bit with the pelvis here. Tuck the tailbone, release it back, and then find it right smack in the middle. Squeezing the shoulder blades in, long spine. So if you stood up, you would be in mountain pose right now, right? All right, exhale, bend the knees, reverse swan dive all the way back up. Hands to the heart. We do it again. Deep breath. Forward fold. Halfway rise. Hold that. Monkey pose. Hands high or hands low, whatever works for you. And then bend the knees, scoop the belly, reverse swan dive all the way back up. Deep breath. And back to the center, back to downward facing dog. Hands on the chair, but fingers are going to splay out in front. If you have a flat chair, that's fine. You have a rounded chair like me, that's okay. Just splay them out, maybe give them a little bit of a wiggle. Tuck the, draw the navel towards the spine and turn that tailbone to the back wall.
Find some length in the side bodies, both of them, right? All right, then we're going to get a little length in the left side body. So I want you to take the left hand on top of the right. Maybe walk that left foot out a little further. Maybe bend the knee. Remember to keep breathing. All right, let's return to the center and go the other way. Take that right foot out just a little bit. Right hand on top of the left. Oh, push the hips over to the right a little bit. Oh, that feels good to me. Breathing deep. And come back to the center. Take the gaze over the chair. So you're going to get this little baby cobra here and walk into the chair. Nice and tall. Deep breath in. And hands back to the heart. All right, we're going to step out on the right foot and push the arms over. And then draw them back and step that foot back in. So I'm touching. I'm going to get this old chair out of the way. I'm going to touch my toe on the ground, use whole foot on the ground, maybe come up, sink into knee, whatever you need to do to find balance. This is what I want you to imagine is you've stepped into the bathtub and it's either way too hot or way too cold, and you have to get yourself back out without falling. All right, here we go. Stepping in. Oh my goodness, step right back out. Can you come back onto center? I do think it's easier if you bend that knee a little bit, but whatever works for you. Bend that supporting leg. Sink. You lower your center of gravity. I'm using the ball of the foot as well. Push. Exhale back in. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, center. Exhale. Inhale, push one more time. Come right back in. Let's turn into our tree pose. Sapling pose is just fine if you'd like. And maybe using the chair, a branch, or branches. So recenter yourself. Hands on the chair, step back to downward facing dog. Regroup, a little wiggle, whatever you need. Ooh. And then same thing again. Take the gaze over the chair. Step into the chair. Draw the elbows inward. Let the heart come forward. Here's that little baby cobra. I am putting weight on my chair at this time to give my arms some strength here. Yeah, and shoulders. Heart pulling forward, all right? Watch this. Tuck them in. It's like you're trying to peek up over everything here. And then walk in a little bit more. All right, other side. Hands to the heart. Deep breath in. Exhale. Push out. Inhale. It's like you're going to scoop it and bring it right back into you. Right? Exhale. Scoop and bring it back. Exhale. Scoop and bring it back. Exhale. Exhale. Inhale. So yes, I changed the breathing rhythm a little bit this time. I took one breath cycle instead of two. One more time. And come right back, balancing. So I have the toe on the ground, maybe turn to sapling pose, drop the heel, or if you want to take full expression of your tree pose, that's fine. Lifting, using the chair. Breathe deep. Drop your shoulders. And then back to downward facing dog, stepping back. And another wiggle, whatever you feel like you need. Please get it. Please do it. All right. Take the gaze over the chair, stepping into the chair. And let's walk, step, or jump your feet wide. Toes to the front first. We're going to roll up onto the toes. All right. Lifting up. And then as you roll back down, keep the heels pushing outward just a little bit. All right. So maybe eventually you might notice that the toes look like they're coming inward just a bit. Not much, not much. And again, roll up, roll back down. Move slowly with intention. All those bones, tendons, ligaments in the feet. Give them a little bit of a workout as you do this. Grab the ground with your toes. One more time. And down. All right, we're going to turn that right toe to the right wall. Take the arms out. Take the gaze over the two peace fingers and sink into our warrior two. Now, as that happens, we often go forward. Notice that. So back her up, all right? Head over, heart over pelvis, and then just turn the chin. So I'm going to reach back with my left fingers here and then lift that right arm. Coming into reverse. Use the chair if you need to. Hey, you want to bind this up today? Take that left hand, turn the palm to the back wall, and then you're going to tuck it into your back right pocket. And that's going to open that chest up. So take that nice deep breath. Remember that mountain pose? Take it. This is one of my favorite transitions now. I want you to straighten that front leg. Notice the tailbone is going to the ground. So this left hip is not coming up into the left rib, right? You're going to drop that tailbone down, and now we're going to paint this right wall by allowing the hips to move to the left as you reach to the right, and here we are in triangle pose. Maybe I'm looking first down at my toes. I'm going to turn forward to the camera, and then maybe take the gaze skyward. Now fire on those leg muscles, okay? It's easy just to kind of let them go slack here. But with intention, squeeze the leg muscles. Use the glute. Yeah, maybe turn the gaze skyward. Using the chair as much as you need to. Come up however you need to here. And breathe. One more breath. All right, we're going to drop this arm down around. Come back to our warrior two. Reaching back. Let's take one more reverse. And now an extended angle, keeping that knee bent. Rest the wrist, reach to the ceiling. Maybe turn the gaze. Splay your fingers out. Yeah, maybe wiggle them. Remind them to stay flexible. All right. And we level this out. Head over, heart over pelvis again. Hands to the heart, both toes to the front. Take a moment to yourself. Breathe deep. And regroup. All right, other side, same thing. Turning that toe. The moment I turn that toe, what sort of happens is this hip pops up. So I really have to work at keeping the tailbone drawing to the ground here. Yeah, yeah. Engaging the toes here so I don't lock my knee, right? And reaching the arms out. We're going to slide to the left wall. Windmill the arms. Oops. Well, we'll get it in next time, right? Turning the gaze. Pay attention to your breath. Is it calming? All right. Come back to that warrior two, which we didn't get to the first time. We're going to come back into reverse. Using the chair if you'd like. Here's another option. Turn that palm to the back wall. Slide it into your back left pocket. Draw that right shoulder back, and we're going to bind this up here and take that deep breath in. That's the purpose of a bind. All right, here's my favorite transition. Straightening that front leg. Don't let it lock, but you're going to straighten it. Now you've got that paintbrush up there. You're going to reach over to the left wall, let the hips push to the right, and windmill again. We come back to our triangle pose, using the chair any way you need to. Coming up high is just fine. I'm just touching my hand, my toe, my finger, so I'm not balancing on my kneecap, please. Drop in that arm. We come back to warrior two, and we're going to come back to reverse again. So lifting up. Now, notice, do you have that muscle memory? Is that knee right over the ankle? Take a peek and be sure it is. Back leg is straight. I need to shift it every now and then. And then here we come into extended angle. Rest the wrist. Reach to the ceiling. Start to wiggle your fingers. Draw the shoulders down the back. So they're going to point down towards the tailbone here. My hips maybe push a little more towards the chair, and my shoulders draw back. And then circle around. Let it draw you back. Both toes to the front, hands to the heart. Drop your chin to your chest. Take a moment to yourself. Notice how you feel. And then let's fold the fingers over right there. All right, we take a deep breath in. Now, sink into the knee, round the spine, press the knuckles forward. Now, scoop the belly, look right back towards the thigh muscles. And then inhale, come right back up. We're going to pass the body here with the hands and lift the heart. Using the chair if you need to. Lift the heart. One more time, sink into your knees, scoop the belly, press. And then breathe into the back ribs. It's going to open up that low back space there. And then lifting right back up. Press the knuckles back, tailbone towards the ground, and lift. Shoulder blades inward and downward. There's that rush of wind coming up the front body and grounding through the back body. All right. Back to the chair. Walk, step, jump your feet in. Your choice. Back to downward facing dog. Stepping back. Whew. All right. Taking the gaze over the chair. Step in on the right foot, about halfway between where you were and the back foot and the chair. And tucking the elbows in, I want you to bend them. Bring the heart forward, so look forward to the device. Let your left foot leave the earth. And then press through the heel as if you had to push that back wall. All right, had to hold it up with your heel. Belly comes in here. And let's just see if maybe we could release one arm forward. Heart's coming forward. It's just parallel to the ground. That's it. And then reach both arms up, both feet, or one arm up, both feet down. Take a little baby arc over that side. And then come back. Okay, hands on the chair. We're going to bend the elbows. They're going to tuck down. Now, if you have a broader chair, you may find this a little easier. This is a pretty narrow one. I could take my hands on the side. It's a lot of work, but you can certainly do that. All right? Tucking the elbows in. They're going to be under the shoulders. I'm going to slide that right foot out, catch the mat, the floor with your toe, and then flex the foot and see if you can lift it. And when I mean lift it, this isn't really what I mean. This is what I mean, all right? But heart's always coming forward on here. Now, find your balance. Maybe we can release the left hand forward. Belly in. Heart moving forward. And coming right back up. Right hand goes to the thigh. And we take this little baby arc over. Oh, that feels good to me. Both arms up. Don't hit your face. We're going to forward fold. We're going to halfway rise. And circle sweep, come into chair pose this time. Yeah, okay. So be sure you can see your toes. Hips are back. You can keep the hands here. That's fine. We're going to sink 2 times. Here we go. Take that deep breath in. Sink the hips back. All right? So instead of just down, sink them back. I shall come in front. Take a deep breath in. Sink them back. A little bit deeper. Extend the arms back. Squeeze the shoulder blades. Maybe even turn the palms towards the side walls. Breathing deep. And slowly push back up. And you should come right back to beautiful mountain pose. All right. Shake out. Grab a drink of water. It's warm in the sanctuary. And I need a serious beverage now. Okay. So let's turn the chair all the way around, right? So you're looking at the seat of the chair, and right over the chair is your device you're looking at, okay? I'm going to turn mine to the side so you can see me better, right? So you can see what's going on the back side. So from mountain pose, step your feet out wider than chair width apart into wide standing mountain pose. All right. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Hands come to the heart. Hands come to the chair, and the shoulders should be right over top of the wrist right here. let the heart come forward here. Breathe deep. All right, I'm going to take my right hand on top of the left and sink into let's go back. Right hand on top of the left hand, and I'm going to sink into my right knee. Maybe even letting that elbow lower down to the ground, to the chair. Turn the gaze to the left. Now, while you're in this position, straightening that leg if you're able to. Breathing deep. Twisted, wide angle pose. Yeah. Breathing deep. All right, here's another option. Come back to the center. Let's stand right back up. I got you down on the elbow. Here's another option. You can take the hand just in the center of the chair, push into it, and then draw that left hand to your hip. All right? You can lower down. You can reach that arm skyward. All right? Whatever works for you here. Now watch what's happened. Have your hips pushed over to the left? See if you can square them up so you could sit a cup of coffee on your tailbone. That may mean you need to lower the hand. Your choice. Breathing deep. All right, coming back to the center. We're going to go the other way. Take a deep breath in. Left hand on top of the right, maybe dropping the elbow. Look to the right wall. You can sink into that knee if you want to, or keep both of them straight. That's ultimately what I'd like you to do, is be able to keep them both straight. All right, let's come up on the hand and see how this works. Right hand on your hip, looking towards the right wall. Or if you want to lower down on the elbow, that's fine. Or if you want to reach that arm up, that's fine. Now watch what happens. I bet the hips are pushing to the right. So what I do is I push into my right foot, and that's going to level off my pelvis in the back, right here. So instead of tipping, it levels it off. Breathing deep. All right, look back to the chair. Let's get yourself out of this. Hands on the chair, underneath the shoulders. Walk your feet in. Bring the heart forward. Stepping back on that right foot. Let's try to leave that heel up in the back, because we're going to come into our plank position here. So hands are under the shoulders. Always, always important here. Belly comes in, heart comes forward. Should you find strength, extend that foot out. Now, you are looking over the chair. You're not looking at the chair, right? Let's bring the right foot back in. Both feet together. Reverse swan dive back up. Deep breath. Exhale. Back on the right foot. Back on the left foot. This time we're going to come to downward facing dog. So both feet on the ground. You can use the hands up high or hands on the chair. Bending the knee, hollow the belly, get a great stretch down that back. Take the deepest breath you've taken. And then look towards the chair, walk right back in, reverse swan dive, all the way back up. Deep breath. And down. All right, a little shakeout. Grab a drink of water. Let's go ahead and sit back down in the chair. Good work. Okay. Out to the edge of your seat. And nice and tall. Let's pull up on that right leg. Nice. Now, lifting. Grab behind the leg if you'd like. Grab the calf. I'm even going to roll back a little bit on my tailbone. And I'm going to use my left hand on the right leg. Belly comes in, and I'm going to add this little twist to it right here. Now, I've rolled back a little bit towards the tailbone, not all the way towards the back of the chair, but a little bit. Breathing deep. Maybe reach that right arm back. And now as we come back, we're going to swoop this leg in. I'm going to cross it up high. If you've had hip replacement, need trouble, you know not to do this if it doesn't feel good, right? Otherwise, here we are. Now, on this very day, I'm going to put that ankle right underneath my knee, But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk this foot out to the left just a little bit, and then I've got to bring the knee over just a little bit more, right? Just still stay underneath there. So you get a little different stretch when that happens. I'm going to hold on to the outside edge. It reminds me to keep my foot flexed. And then with this hand, I'm almost going to externally rotate all these muscles right here, this quadricep muscle here. Yeah, so let it rotate out just a wee bit and sit nice and tall. Yeah. And then maybe bring the heart forward to me, all right? Not the shoulders, not the forehead, the heart. Let me see that gratitude in your heart. Bring it to me. And breathe. Coming out of this, we cross this leg over. You can always put it on the ground. That's just fine. I'm going to take my right hand on the bottom, my left hand on top. I'm going to squeeze the knuckles. I'm going to squeeze the elbows in and then lift them off of your chest. So you're looking just beyond the wrist right there, trying to see me in your device right beyond the wrist. But the elbows are up. Now take a deep breath in, sit even taller, and then bring the elbows forward and up just a little bit, sort of like they're going to take off, all right? Lifting up. You feel a little stretch in the low back, upper back when you do that. And then I'm going to hinge forward. So my knees maybe come in front, or my elbows maybe come in front of the knees. Scoop the belly, drop the forehead, humble eagle, or a wounded eagle pose. And then let's see if we can keep the arms like this and rise back up. That's a lot of work on them. Release them back down and just notice how you feel. All right, nice and tall. And we'll come to the other side, right? So we're going to lift up on that left knee and reach onto the calf muscle, or the thigh is just fine. I've rolled back just a little bit. I'm going to extend that left arm back and sit nice and tall. So watch that rolling back onto the fleshy part of your seat. Push that low back forward. Breathe. All right, and coming in for this piriformis stretch. That foot is under the ankle. I'm going to walk it out just a wee bit and then pull the knee back over top of it. Holding onto the side, rotating my quadricep muscles, pushing that low back forward. So push that pelvis forward towards the front body as you lift. Yeah, nice. And let's stay here, settle in. Use that exhale to let go. Use the exhale to relax. Release the tension in the shoulders, in the hips, so that will actually happen. This is a deep stretch. It requires some deep breath. Also requires you to hang here for a bit. Focus on your breathing. Learn to let go when things get tough and tight. Yoga has all sorts of good lessons. All right, so now we cross this leg over. And I have the left leg, so I'm going to put the left hand on the bottom, the right hand. Breathe deep. Prepare. Knuckles together, squeezing them. Elbows squeeze, and they're going to lift off of your heart, right? So you're looking just beyond the wrist. Even if they're out here, it's okay. Just work at drawing them in instead of doing this, all right? So work at drawing them inward. Look beyond the wrist, and then bring the elbows a little closer, so you're going to hinge a little bit deeper. And now as you forward fold, engage those core muscles. Bring the elbows on the outside, front side of the knees. Belly is pulled in, support that spine, tuck the chin, breathe into the back ribs. Nice and full. One more, maybe the deepest breath you've taken into the back ribs. And now we're going to press through the feet. We're going to lift the arms back up, still squeezing, still working that back. Open, release, notice how you feel.
Let's take the hands on the back of the chair. I'm going to give you a choice. I mean the seat of the chair, not the back. I'm going to give you some choices here. So get the heel of the hand on the back of the chair. We're going to come into a reverse plank. All right. Don't worry. 1 foot, 2 foot. You choose. Whatever you'd like. All right. So I'm going to push into the heel of the hand, lifting the heart. My knees are bent. My heels are pressing into the ground. Shoulder blades drawing together, but then draw them down your spine towards the tailbone. And then both feet back on the ground, or that one if it wasn't. We're going to release. Get that spine nice and tall so it settles into straight spine. I'm going to cross over, navel in, and round the upper back to release that back there. All right. Let's walk on back to the back. We had some tough moves today. I hope you did well. Let me know in an email. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you're silver sneakers, let me know that too. Coming back against the back of the chair. Settle in. Let's take one more head swing right in the front to remind the neck to be relaxed. And then maybe remind those powerful jaw muscles to relax. Unclenching those biting teeth. Oh gosh, that feels good. And then unfurl those eyebrows there. Get rid of that number 11 right there. And anything else you need in the way of self-care, self-massage. If you want to come into Shavasana on the ground, lying back, this is your opportunity to do that. Come to stillness. Come back to just your breath and those 3 things you are grateful for. Breathe them in. Notice how they fill your heart. Notice when you take those deep breaths in, creates that space around your heart. Fill it with that gratitude. And then move on to the second thing. Take a deep breath in. Bring that second gratitude in. Exhale. Give it a squeeze. And then the third gratitude. Take that deep breath in. Create that space inside. Fill it with that third gratitude. And then give it a squeeze. Own it. Gratitude turns everything we have into enough, doesn't it? Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Bring the hands together at your heart. Open your eyes if they're not already. Nice, easy, soft gaze. All right. I hope you found this no matter where you are in your yoga journey, I hope you found this to be beneficial and helpful to your general well-being today. I will be back here on Wednesdays through the summer. I also will be sending out a recorded class on Monday. And if you'd like to get that, email me through the church, North Presbyterian Church, Williamsville, New York. We can connect that way. If you're Silver Sneakers, let me know how you did. If you're not a Silver Sneakers, let me know how you did. Remembering a heart at peace shall give life to the whole body. Namaste. Go in peace, my friends, through Wednesday, and I'll see you again next Wednesday right here.